Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today. Children, let's start with a new lesson in Standard 5th, Scholarship. And we are going to do a lesson in Scholarship English today. Okay? And what is the name of the lesson? It is lesson number 4.1 from your scholarship textbooks. And we are going to learn about subject and predicate. Okay? So this is part C of your syllabus. And in the same lesson, we are going to learn also about kinds of sentences, but I will make a separate video for that. Alright, now in the C part, that is when we talk about parts of sentences, the first one is subject predicate, then we also have lessons about WH questions. Okay, then we have lessons about grammar in this. We have learned all those lessons now. So today we will learn about a sentence and what is the subject in a sentence and what is the predicate in a sentence. Now, a sentence can be divided into two parts. One is the subject part and the other is the predicate part. So let's try and understand in detail what the meaning of a subject is, what the meaning of a predicate is, and how can you differentiate a subject from a predicate. We will also see various examples, and finally we will try and solve some questions based on the pattern which is given to us in our scholarship textbook. Alright, so come on, let's start with understanding what the meaning of subject and predicate in a sentence is. So, a subject or every complete sentence contains two parts, a subject and a predicate. The subject is what or whom the sentence is about. Okay, while the predicate tells us something about the subject. So, the subject means what? Subject means what? Subject means whom. So most of the times if you see, the subject is a noun. Okay, and what is happening to the subject or what is a special thing about the subject, all that, the part of the sentence which tells you what is special about the subject or what is the subject doing, okay, that part of the sentence is called as the predicate. Okay, so I hope you understand what the meaning of a subject and a predicate is. Now, let us try and understand, see how a sentence is made up of. So you have a subject in a sentence, which is what we are talking about. Okay, or whom we are talking about. For example, if I say the rabbit, if I say the man, if I say the moon, okay, and I say the rabbit runs fast. So who runs fast? The rabbit runs fast. So we are talking about the rabbit. That is why a rabbit is the subject. So what are we talking about or who are we talking about? That is the subject. Then comes the predicate. So what is the predicate? What the subject did or what we said about the subject. For example, I told you the example, the rabbit ran fast. So who ran fast? The rabbit ran fast. So the rabbit is the subject. What did the rabbit do? The rabbit ran fast. So the ran fast is the predicate. Okay, so this is how we learn what the meaning of a subject and what the meaning of a predicate is, by asking these questions. Who and how, or who and what. These kind of questions, when you ask at the right time, you will be able to understand what the meaning of a subject and a predicate in a sentence is. Now, once again, let's understand the meaning of a subject separately and predicate separately. So what is a subject? The person, place, thing or idea that the sentence is about is the subject. So it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, or it could be an idea. And that is why I said sometimes a subject is always a noun. Okay, most of the times, generally the subject is a noun. All subjects are noun, but not all nouns are the subject of a sentence. So all subjects are nouns. But then if you pick up any subject, it might not be the noun. Or if you pick up any noun, it might not be the subject of a sentence. Not necessary. Okay? So this is about subject. Now we will move on and we will talk about a predicate. So what is a predicate? The predicate is the part of the sentence that contains the action. So what the subject is doing, or what we are doing to the subject, or what action is happening, that is indicated by the predicate. Okay, so in order to form a full, complete sentence, a meaningful sentence, we need to have the subject as well as the predicate as a part of it. Okay, now let's take a look at this sentence. The manager has changed all of his staff recently. So this is a simple sentence. The manager has changed all of his staff recently. Ask the question, who? Who has changed all of his staff recently? The manager. So the manager is the subject in this sentence. What has the manager done? What has he done? He has changed all of his staff recently. So some action is happening here. So this part of the sentence, has changed all of his staff recently, is the predicate. Okay, so a sentence, you saw how it is made up of a subject and a predicate. So if you ask the question who, the part of the sentence which answers your question who is the subject, and what did this subject do is the predicate. Okay, so this is an example where you have both the subject as well as the predicate. Now let's look at some more examples. See, the more examples you see, the better you will understand the concept. So the big green frog. Who? The big green frog. So the big green frog is the subject. Now we are going to tell you something about the big green frog, that is, jumped across the log. So what did the big green frog do? He jumped across the log. So the jumped across the log part is the predicate. Okay, let's take up the next sentence here. My sweet grandmother. Who? My sweet grandmother. So that is the subject. Now let us learn something more about our grandmother here. Let's see what she's done. She's wore a blue dress. My sweet grandmother, what did she do? She wore a blue dress. So wore a blue dress is the predicate. Okay, the next example sentence for you here. The old shack. What? The old shack. So the old shack here becomes the subject. What about the old shack? Blew over in the wind. So there was a huge kind of a wind blowing, a strong wind blowing, and the old shack blew over. So the blew over in the wind is the predicate in this particular sentence. Okay, now you can see the wind here, you can see a blue dress here, you can see the log here. These are all part of the sentences. Okay, and the log, if you see, is a noun. The blue dress, if you see, is a noun. The wind is a noun. But remember, it is part of the predicate. It is not part of the subject. So every subject is a noun, but it doesn't mean that every noun also will be the subject. Here, the wind, the log, the blue dress, these are part of the predicate. Okay, so that is a rule that we learned. Coming to the last example here. My dog Barney. Who? My dog Barney. So that is the subject for you. Now what did my dog Barney do? Barked at the cat. So see, he is doing something here. The action is happening. So barked at the cat is the predicate. Okay, so these are some examples of subject and predicate for you. Now let's take a look at some more examples. Some of them I will do it for you, and the remaining I will leave you to do it. Okay, so first sentence. Timmy plays soccer. Now, soccer means football. Okay, so Timmy is the subject. Plays soccer is the predicate. My sister eats burgers and fries. My sister is the subject. Eats burgers and fries is the predicate. So, Timmy answers the question who. My sister answers the question who. So, these are the subjects in these sentences. Next one. Susan's brother sleeps all night. Who sleeps all night? Susan's brother. What does he do? He sleeps all night. So Susan's brother is the subject and sleeps all night is the predicate. Coming to the next sentence. Beth's cousins go to the movies. Who goes to the movies? Beth's cousins. What did they do? What did Beth's cousins do? They went to the movies. So Beth's cousins is the subject and go to the movies is the predicate. The last example here on this page, let me do it for you. Kim's parents is the subject. Have a new house is the predicate. So you see here, Timmy answers the question who, my sister answers the question who, Susan answers the question, Susan's brother answers the question who, Beth's cousins answers the question who, Kim's parents answers the question who. The remaining 5, you try to do it on your own. Try to figure out which is the subject and which others are the predicate. Okay, children? So this was about what is the subject and what is the predicate. What is the meaning of a subject? What is the meaning of a predicate? We also saw examples of a sentence and we split it up into 2 and we indicated which is the subject and which is the predicate. Now let us go and try to see which are the question paper patterns, which are the questions based on the paper pattern. Here they are. We have 4 types of questions which can be asked based on this topic. The first one goes here. Identify the subject in the given sentence. Very simple, isn't it? You have to identify the subject in the given sentence. So there will be a sentence. You have to pick out which is the subject. Pattern 2 is identify the predicate in the given sentence. Again, simple. Just like you identified the subject in the first case, you have to identify the predicate in the second case. Pattern 3 is fill in the blanks with the correct subject. So there will be a sentence given to you. There will be a blank. You have to fill the correct subject in that blank. Pattern 4 asks you to fill in the blank with the correct predicate. Okay, so these are the 4 types of questions which can be asked based on the topic, subject and predicate. Okay, children, so now let us try and solve certain examples. So we will see around 4 or 5 examples in each pattern. And let me give you a small instruction here. I have been repeating these instructions every time for each video. But nevertheless, let me tell it to you again. Whenever you see a question, whenever you see the options, always pause the video and try to find out the answer yourself. Okay? That will create self-learning in you. Alright? Come on. So let's go to pattern 1 where we will identify the subject in the given sentence. Where is the sentence? Here it is. The tiger is our national animal. Now, there are many words in this sentence. The tiger is our national animal. Certain words are part of the subject, whereas certain other words are part of the predicate. So, come on, let's try and find out. So, is it national? Is it our? Is it the tiger? Or is it animal? So which one of these options is the correct one? So 1, 2, 3 or 4. Which one is the correct one? It is the third one, the tiger. So the tiger is our national animal. Which is our national animal? What is our national animal? The tiger is. Okay. So this was question 1 for you. Example 1 in pattern 1. Let's move on and do some more examples in this pattern. The great leader comes here. Okay, so come on. Which part of the sentence is the subject? We have to identify the subject. So once you identify the subject, the remaining part of the sentence automatically becomes the predicate. Okay, so is it 1 the Is it 2, great leader? Is it 3, leader? Or is it 4, the great leader? So which one of them is the correct answer? Which one is the correct subject? It is option number 4, the great leader. So the great leader comes here. The great leader is the subject and comes here is the predicate. Moving to example 3. My heart was beating fast. So 4 options, here they are. First one is beating, second one is heart, third one is was, fourth one is my heart. So which one is the correct answer? Yes, it is option number 4 again. My heart was beating fast. What was beating fast? My heart was beating fast. Coming to example 4. Aunt Jane knew some magic spells. So which is the subject? Aunt Jane knew magic spells. So which one of them is right? The first one. Aunt Jane knew some magic spells. Who knew some magic spells? Aunt Jane. Okay? So Aunt Jane is the right answer. Coming to the last example in this pattern. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Okay, so you have one bird in your hand and you see 2 birds in the bush. You let go of this bird and you try to catch those 2. You are not able to catch those 2 also and you let go of this one also. So it is a kind of a proverb or a saying in English language. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So which one is the subject? Worth is the subject, 2 is the subject, a bird in the hand is the subject, or bush is the subject. Which one is the subject here, children? It is the third one. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So what is worth 2 in the bush? A bird in the hand. Alright, now we move on and we go to the second kind of question or pattern 2, where instead of identifying the subject like we did previously, we will identify the predicate. Come on, let's start. Some milk spilt on the table. Okay, so which part of the sentence is the predicate? Is it some? Is it milk? Is it spilt? Or is it spilt on the table? So come on, think, what is it? It is the fourth one, spilt on the table. Now ask the question, what? Some milk. What happened to some milk? It spilt on the table. So some milk is the subject. So the remaining part of the sentence is the predicate. Okay, come on, let's move on and let's do the next example. I am 7 years old. So what is the predicate? Is it I? Is it 7? Is it am 7 years old? Or is it only the word years? Which is it? It is the third one. 7 years old. Who is 7 years old? I. So I is answering the who. So the remaining part of the sentence is the predicate. Okay, come on, let's go to question number 8. Dr. Ambedkar was a great leader. So which is the predicate? Is it Dr. Ambedkar? Is it was a great leader? Is it was a great? Or is it leader? So which one is it? Who was a great leader, children? Dr. Ambedkar. So what was Dr. Ambedkar? He was a great leader. So option number 2 is the right answer. Come on, let's go to the second last question in this pattern. The first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, loved children. Okay, now the sentence seems to be very big, so you don't get confused, okay? Now let's start and look at the patterns or look at the options. Loved children, the first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, or the first. So which one is the predicate? It is very simple. It is the first one, loved children. Now here you have a long subject. The first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, is the subject. What did he do? The first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, what did he do? He loved children. So there is the verb there. The action is happening there. So that is the predicate. Coming to the last example in this pattern, question 10 in this video. She knew all about the birds and their hiding spaces. Come on, pick up the predicate. Is it she knew? Is it about the birds? Is it knew all about the birds and their hiding places? Or simply the hiding places? What is the correct answer, children? It is the third one. She is the subject here. Okay? And what? What did she know? She knew all about the birds and their hiding places is the predicate. So this was pattern 2, children. Let's move on and do pattern 3, where we have to do some simple fill in the blank exercises. So fill in the blank with the correct subject. Here is the sub-sentence for you and here is the blank. Dash writes letters every day. So what will you put in the blank there? What will become the subject? Will you say, he writes letters every day? They writes letters every day? The girls writes letters every day? Or children writes letters every day? Come on, think. Which could be the correct one? Grammatically, which one is correct? It is the first one. He writes letters. So you say, he writes, we say, she writes, we say, they write. The girls write. Children write. So the first one is the correct answer. Let's go to the next example now. Example number 12 in the video. Dash have been stolen. So which one could be the subject? The jewel from the locker have been stolen. The jewels from the locker have been stolen. The locker have been stolen. From the locker have been stolen. Which one do you think is the right answer? Yes, it is the second option. The jewels from the locker have been stolen. Now don't get confused with the first. See, when you say have, it should be jewels. Okay? If it was has, then we could have written the jewel from the locker has been stolen. But since it is have, we have said jewels. Okay? Coming to the next one. Dash are sitting in a corner. Jack are sitting in a corner. Jack and his friend are sitting in a corner. Jack and his friends are sitting in a corner. His friend are sitting in a corner. So which one could be the right one? It is the third one. Jack and his friends are sitting in a corner. Okay? Coming to the next example, example number 14. Dash went up. What will you say? Blue balloon went up. The went up. Went up. The blue balloon went up. So what went up? Option number 4. The blue balloon went up. Okay? Now we come to the last example. The blue balloon went up. The last example in this pattern. Dash are certainly dirty. What are certainly dirty? Nails are certainly dirty. Your nails are certainly dirty. Nail are certainly dirty. Your nail are certainly dirty. Which one will be the right one, children? Yes, now you know that it will be your nails. If it was your nail, then it would have been is. Okay, so your nails are certainly dirty is the right answer. So we have completed doing 3 patterns now. We go to the last pattern and do some last examples. Fill in the blank with the correct predicate. We have to choose the correct predicate now. Okay, the stars dash. So the stars is seen today. The stars can be seen today. The stars can be seen today, or none of these. So which one is the correct one? The stars, the third one, can be seen today. Okay, so the correct predicate is the stars can be seen today. Coming to the next example sentence, Mohan dash. What? Mohan will the story. Mohan will read the story. Mohan will reads the story, or Mohan will reading the story. So what do you think is the right answer? It is Mohan will read the story. So it is option number 2. Okay, the sentence will be completed as Mohan will read the story. Coming to the 18th question, the second last question in this video. The mouse dash. What? What did the mouse do? Will eat the cheese? Is being afraid of the cat? Will runs or is afraid of the cat? Which one is the right one? The fourth one. The mouse is afraid of the cat. Okay, here we have the last question for you in the video. The bridge dash. What happened to the bridge? The bridge are complete. The bridge are completed. The bridge was never completely. The bridge was never completed. So what one is the right one? Which one? It is the fourth one. The bridge was never completed. So that is the correct predicate in this sentence. Okay, children. So this was a short lesson about subject and predicate. So hope you understood the concept of subject and predicate, and hope you will be able to solve these questions also which are based on this topic. Alright, now watch the entire video, and towards the end of the video also complete the tasks that I have set up for you. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions. And note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.